Good morning and happy Wednesday. So I have been doing this new routine project. I don't know what you want to call it, but I've been writing, doing some, not really journaling. It's kind of like journaling, but I want to become better at writing. And so I got this book, and it teaches you certain things, but it gives you, it's a writing, for every day, short writing. So it gives you a topic. It'll give you a sentence or a thing, and you write about that, or whatever comes to mind. So it's not necessarily, it could be from my experience, it could be from a third party, it could be, whatever I think about when I have that topic. It's been very interesting, and I know I'm crazy because I really don't have time to add one more thing to my plate, but I'm an all or nothing type of girl, and that's what I've been actually thinking about. So so what I wrote last night, it was just really profound, because and the other thing is that this writing, it just comes out of you, it just flows. You're not allowed to reread it or edit it while you're writing. You just do it. Even if you misspell words, whatever, you just keep going. It wants it to flow naturally, and just to get your thoughts out there, to practice, and non-judgmentally, so we're not criticizing as we're writing, because that will put a block on our creativity and on our expressing our feelings, right? So so the topic was, how was it worded? Remember a sound. That's what it was. Remember a sound. And I got into this, I don't know what, it just came over me. Like, I got into this, I wonder what it must feel like to not be able to hear. And how lonely it must be. And then I started thinking, well, what is worse, being born deaf or losing your hearing? Like, not being able to ever hear any of this stuff, not knowing what you're missing out, or experiencing, your child's cooing and laughing, or, the sound of a train engine, or the sound of rain, or any of that, and then it vanishing, right? And which is more tragic? Is it a tragedy or is it a blessing? And you can look at it both ways. Either one, you can look at it both ways, right? So if you've been born without your hearing, you can look at it as it's a blessing, because you don't know what you're missing, right? You never had that experience, so you're not longing for it, you're not missing it. And the other way of looking at it is that it's a tragedy, right? You'll never be able to hear what other people hear. You will never be able to experience what other people experience. And if you've had your hearing and then lost it, again, the blessing could be, at least I had the opportunity to experience the sound, and I can remember what it sounds like. Like, I can remember what my child's voice sounds like when she says, "I love you, Mommy." And so at least I had that opportunity to have that, and I can remember that in my, recall that in my memory. Adversely, you can say, well, it's a tragedy because now I know what I'm missing. Like, I'll never be able to hear those voices again. I'll never be able to hear those sounds again. Like, I've experienced it. And it reminded me of that song, is it better to love and lost than never to love at all? And I started thinking, is it really better to love and lose that love? Or is it better never to have experienced that love at all, right? And so it brings me to the cognitive part of psychology, or not cognitive part, but the mental part of recovery, or life in general, is how we look at things, how we perceive things is crucial, that because we have control over that. We have control of how we're going to look at things, how we're going to view things, how we're going to perceive things. And that has a correlation. So how we look at things has a direct correlation as how we're going to feel about our lives, right? If I look at life is a tragedy and all the horrible things in the world and all the horrible things that I've done or witnessed or whatever, and I'm going to feel depressed. I'm going to feel, powerless. I'm going to feel yuck, like hopeless maybe. And if I have, that same life, but I look at, okay, this is the world we live in, but there's a lot of beautiful things to experience. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've learned from them. I've grown from them. My struggles have become my teachers, and if we look at it that way, we can have a more purposeful life. We can have the hope. We can have the contentment, the joy. And so my question to you today is, how do you want to live your life? As a tragedy or as a blessing? I mean, me personally, obviously, I would say blessing. But think about it. Think about how you look at life, how you perceive your problems, how you perceive your struggles, your situations, the tough decisions that you have to make. And I'm not lessening them and saying that they are not difficult. But how are you looking at them, right? Are you looking at them as this sucks, or this always happens to me, or I can't ever get it right, or nothing ever good happens? Or are you looking at it as, what is the lesson? Maybe this keeps happening because there's something I need to learn. I haven't learned it yet, right? What can I do differently? This is making me stronger, right? I'm learning something. I'm building something. Resiliency, whatever it is, perseverance. How we look at our lives can directly affect how we feel. And as I've said many, many times, as a woman in recovery, it's my belief we use because we don't like the way we feel. We use substances, we can use other harmful behaviors, we can use shopping, sex, gambling, whatever, you name it, right? It doesn't have to just be substances, but we use because we don't like the way we feel. And the thing of it is that we can change the way we feel. We can take ownership of that by changing the way we think. Just something for you to think about today. Is it a blessing or is it a tragedy? I hope this helps you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember to let the people that you love know that you love them. Send them that text. Give them that hug. You never know what's going to happen. Like, life is too short, And just talking about losing your hearing. If I lost my hearing, am I going to think, man, I wish I had talked to my daughter one more time, or had heard her voice, or my son, or my grandson, right? I wish I had talked to my dad one more time. Who knows? He's 83 now. You never know when his time is going to come. Eventually, it's going to come eventually, and it's probably sooner rather than later. I don't know. But in other words, take the opportunity now to let the people that you love know that you love them. Have a wonderful day. Live your life enthusiastically. If you like my videos, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram under Recovery Enthusiast. You can check out some of my content on my website. I got a blog there that I have a lot of great information, tips, tools, whatever you want to call it. That's at recoveryenthusiast.com. And until next time, guys, stay blessed. Peace.